Hi, I'm Emmanuel and welcome to my workbench and welcome to another Friday Fast 5 as I go through my World Bank collection. I did a guesstimate of how many episodes this would take, and it looks like we're going to be in the 40 plus range of episodes. So we're in it for the long haul. 5 countries per episode. This will take the time that it takes. Now I'm going to try to do a few things differently than my first episode. So let's see, as I record these, hopefully I'll get into a way that works best. The next country that we have in my collection is Argentina. Let me show you, this is the first note here. But first, let's go to the country profile. Argentina. Argentina is a country in South America. And you can see the flag over here. A sun on a blue and white striped flag. And Argentina, as you can see over here, is in South America. It is the country in green right over here, and it claims a part of Antarctica as well. For the purposes of my collection, Argentina has 5 notes that I am looking for. And the first one is the Peso Moneda Nacional, which I do not have. This one ending in 1969, which is the beginning year of my collecting. The next one is starting in 1970. It is the Peso Ley, which I do have one, which we will see shortly. And the next one after the Peso Ley is the Argentine peso, which goes from 1983 to 1985. After that, we got the Austral from 1985 to 1991. And finally, to date, it is the Peso Convertible, or the convertible peso, which is the current circulating banknotes that they have in Argentina. Welcome back. Now, as I said, I don't have the first one that from 1969, the Moneda Nacional, but I do have the first one here, which is the Peso Ley. And the distinguishing, you will see that the first 2 notes are very, very similar. So let's go look at the first note here. This note is mostly burgundies, dark burgundies, oranges, greens, and mainly black as well. And it says Central Bank of the Republic of Argentina. It's 50 pesos. And what distinguishes this one is this decree over here, law number 18 from 1969. There you go. Very, very cool note. And on the back side, we have the thermal waters of Reyes, it looks like it says there, or the hot springs of Reyes. Again, with the dark greens, the purples, and mostly dark browns or blacks. Very, very cool. Let's have a quick look at the UV on this one. Now, I will turn off the overhead light to see if we see anything better here with the UV, because last time it wasn't very bright. Well, there are a few UV reactive fibers over here. You can also see the watermark a little bit better there. Very cool. Anything else? Just the fibers on this side. Nothing really jumps out at me on this side. And that is the first one. The second one is the Argentine peso. Now, the designs are similar, but the colors are slightly different. This is 5 pesos, and the colors are much brighter. Instead of a black, it's a brown. The greens and the purples are much brighter over here. The watermark, if I can have a look at the watermark. The watermark is a sunburst figure. You can kind of see it over here. This one doesn't have the law written over here. Again, General San Martin, same person on this note as the previous note. And on the back we have a monument of the flag, Rosario, it says. And this is 50 Argentine pesos. Very cool. Let's have a quick look with the UV light. Again, much brighter reactivity with the fibers inside the bank, integrated into the banknote. Anything on the opposite side? Nope, just the fibers. That is cool. The next note is when Argentina transferred to the Austral from 1985 to 1991. And this is 5 Australs. The symbol is an A with a double bar through it. This is 5 Australs, some geometric shapes and patterns, lathe work. Very cool. I was just checking to see if these are slightly raised dots here. Slightly raised ink to the touch. And here is the backside. Pinks flowing into oranges, 5 Australs, and you can see that the watermark is of this sun shape. Very, very cool. Let's have a look at the UV features of this note. Again, maintaining the UV reactive fibers on both sides. Nothing else jumps out of this one. The final Argentine note that I have is a vertical note. It features a condor, I believe. Yeah, an Andes condor. This is 50 pesos. This is the currency that is the convertible peso, and this is the currency that is currently in circulation since 1992. Very cool. There's a flower on the bottom as well. And let's look on, and it has the Roman number L for 50. Cool. And here is the back. You have some reflective ink here. You can see the 50s and the flowers at the top there. The increasing size of the printed serial number repeated in red over here. Awesome. Let's have a quick look at the reflectivity under UV. Let's turn off the overhead light. I think it's working better. Again, multicolored UV fibers this time. You have red, blue, and green fibers. Very cool. We have a reflective red security strip through the middle right there. And on the back side, again with the colored fibers and the UV reactive security strip right there as well. That is awesome. Let's go to the next country. The next banknote is from Armenia, so let's go to the country profile. Armenia. Armenia is a country that was part of the former Soviet Union. Here is the Armenian flag, red over blue over yellow. And Armenia is a tiny country right over here, situated between Iran and Turkey, and is part of the former Soviet Union. Prior to 1992, they used the Soviet ruble, but after the breakup of the Soviet Union, they started using the dram. And we're back. Now, this is 100 drams from Armenia. Armenia has been using the dram since the breakup of the Soviet Union. Prior to 1993, they used the Soviet ruble, which you will see when we get to the Soviet Union. Armenia uses its own alphabet. It doesn't seem to be Cyrillic. This banknote is dated 1998, and it is a bright blue, beautiful blue note. It says here, in English, Central Bank of the Republic of Armenia. Very cool. And let's look at the back. We have a telescope, an observatory. There is a watermark here that you can you see some color changing ink. You can really, well, not color changing ink, but the direction of the light does affect the pattern over here. And the watermark seems to be, just looking off camera, seems to be the coat of arms of Armenia. I'm just seeing if they have it on the banknote. They don't have the coat of arms on the banknote, but there you go. Let's see if there is any reactivity to the my UV flashlight. Look at that right there, 100. That is cool. That is so cool. Like I mentioned before in my first episode, I have not used my flashlight on any of these notes. So you have some fibers in here. And a bright 100 over there. Very, very cool. A little bit of reflectivity here of the serial number as well. Reflective ink over here on the serial number. And on the back side, we have just the little fibers. They're blue and green. Very, very cool. Let's move on to the next country. The next country is the Republic of Artsakh. So let's go to the country profile. Artsakh, or the Republic of Artsakh, also known as the Republic of Nagorno-Karabakh. This is a former breakaway republic that is part of Azerbaijan. Here is the flag that they were using. Very similar to the Armenian flag, red over blue over yellow with this design on the flag. And in a similar location to Armenia, as part of Azerbaijan, it is adjacent to just north of Iraq near Turkey, and the breakaway region over here is in light green. In 2023, they signed a peace accord and a reunification accord with Azerbaijan, and as such, this republic has ceased to exist. However, they did issue banknotes from 2003 to 2023, and they use the dram, much like Armenia does. As mentioned, this country does not exist anymore. They did sign a peace agreement, and so the efforts of gaining independence from Azerbaijan are ended. But this banknote is from 2004. It is a 2 dram note. It features a church and most likely one of their early church fathers. The note is mostly light reds and pinks with some brown in the middle. Let's look at the other side. And again, this looks like it is the baptism of Jesus by St. John the Baptist. We have the coat of arms over here. Really, really cool. Let's see if this banknote has any reaction to UV light. We have blue UV fibers throughout the note. And on the other side, again, just the blue UV fibers. I'm glad I have this one in my collection before they start becoming hard to find. Let's move on to the next country. The next country is Aruba. Aruba is a constituent country within the Kingdom of the Netherlands. So let's go ahead and look at the country profile. Aruba is a constituent island country within the country of the Netherlands. It is an island country in the Caribbean. And here is its flag, a light blue with 2 yellow lines and a red star in the corner. And Aruba is just north of Venezuela, and it is one of the 3, it's the westernmost of these 3 little islands over here. Now, Aruba does issue its own currency, the florin, right now, since 1986. Prior to 1986, it used the Netherlands Antilles guilder. Much like the island nations of France, such as Guyana, French Guyana, which is not an island nation, but French Guyana, Martinique, and so on. Aruba is part of the Netherlands, but they do issue their own currency. This is a 10 florin note. Prior to this, they used the currency of the Netherlands Antilles. This note was, the florin has been issued, Aruba has been issuing notes since 1986, and this is the 10 florin note. It is a vertical note with a turtle on it, a sea turtle, I'm assuming. It has a owl, it looks like, on the watermark. You can just make it out there. Some coral fan over there. And let's look at the other side. And it features a building, and it has a reflective coating over there. Very, very cool note. This is color changing ink, or at least holographic ink over there, right next to my thumb. Very cool. Let's see how this note reacts to UV light. This, I just noticed the strip does react as well. This is a holographic strip. I'll put the light back on. I just noticed the holographic strip. It is uncanny. It has green and blue fibers throughout the note. Very cool. It's really uncanny. I'll have a look here. And look at this on the back. A bright 10 and a turtle. I love it when it pops up. This pops up like this, where you can't see it with the eye, but under UV light, a whole design pops up. And here is that turtle glows as well. But let me turn this on. Hold on. There we go. Just look at this holographic thing, this bubble right there. Look at that. That is amazing. It looks like it's just a water drop floating on the paper. Same thing with these little rosettes here. That is amazing what they can do with banknotes nowadays. Awesome. Let's go to the final country for today. The last country for today is Australia. So let's go to the country profile. Australia. Australia is an island nation in the Pacific and is also a continent. And here is the Australian flag, not to be confused with the New Zealand flag, which is quite similar, except the New Zealand flag, these stars are outlined in red, and the Australian flag, it is not outlined in red. You can see the Southern Cross over here. And Australia is located in the Southern Hemisphere, and here is the location on the globe. They also claim some territory in Antarctica. And since 1966, Australia has been using the dollar. And we're back. I have, I believe, the full set of Australian notes. It might not be the most recent set, but let's have a quick look here. Australian banknotes have different sizes. They have about the same thickness, but you can see the 5, the 10, the 50, and the 100 over here. So they're all slightly, let me just get these aligned properly. They all have the same height, but different lengths depending on the denomination. These have been circulated because how did I get these? I just went to the bank and I said, hey, I would like to have some Australian money, and if possible, one from each denomination. They were able to accommodate me, and that's why I have these right here. So let's start with the $5. Prior to 1966, the Australia probably used the pound, and they converted to the Australian dollar. These are the first set of notes, I believe, that we have today that are polymer. And you can see the holographic dove over here, the birds on the transparent strip. And you have a little star pattern over here. We have featuring Queen Elizabeth II. Really cool banknote. $5. Another holographic 5 over here. And it, depending on the angle, it's either reversed or front facing. And let's look at the back. And the back continues with the holographic strip with the transparent strip. And we have a building in the back. Very, very cool. Let's see how this one reacts to UV. Very nice. The bird and the plants are here in blue and red. And that is the only thing I think that I see on the front of the note. Let's look for the back. We have reflective ink on the serial number and the year of issue right there popping out, 2018. That is awesome. Moving on to the $10 bill. The $10 bill, this one has been well circulated. That is one of the faults of the polymer notes, is they get creases in it that are quite obvious. But we can see here, he is a writer, I'm guessing, because of the pen nib there. We have the holographic parrot right here, or this bird with that holographic line behind it. Banjo Patterson. Very cool. And on the back, we have a woman. So there is no back. You can either like the man on the front or the woman on the front. A two-fronted banknote. I love this idea. Why have to have a back when you can feature two people on your banknotes? This is awesome. And this one here is Mary Gilmore. Probably another writer. You can see her here, probably in her older age. And let's have a look at how this banknote reacts to UV light. We have, again, the bird with some plants in blue and red. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to the $5 banknote here. And we have the reflective serial number as well as the date of issue right here. That is awesome. Moving on to the $20 bill. Mary Reeby, $20. Again, this banknote looks almost uncirculated. And it has all of the holographic features and a kookaburra in the corner over there, again with a little background that is a little holographic. Very cool. And on the other side, we have a gentleman, John Flynn, a pilot by the picture of the biplane on top there. Very, very cool. I like these double-headed designs. I really do. It's a great idea, I think. Breaking away from tradition. Let's look at this banknote under UV. Well, we have the reflective serial number over here and the date of issue. Very cool. And on the other side, we have, again, the same theme as the other one. We have the bird with the twigs. Very, very cool. Moving on to the $50 note. David Unaipan, I apologize for my pronunciation. He seems to be an author as well. There's a little book there. I might be wrong. We've got a swan on here. Again, this one is green with the background. Again, with the holographic 50 over here. And the little window, a little book in the window here. And on the other side, we have a woman, and this is Edith Cowan. Women's Legal Status, 1923. Very, very cool. So let's have a quick look at the note under UV. Again, the swan and the sprig of leaves on one side and the year of issue. And I'm guessing the reflective, UV reflective serial number on that side there. That is awesome. The final note is the $100. This, let's see here, Australian concert tour, Nellie Melba. I think this is an older design. I'm not quite sure. I think this is not the design from this series here. Again, polymer note, transparent window over here. And on the opposite side, we have a gentleman. This is John Monash. Looks like he might be a military man. Very, very cool. Different look than these notes over here with the background like that, with all of these markings over here on the back. So let's see how this one reacts to UV light. Nothing that I can really see on this side. And on the other side, nothing. Oh, right there. The ink is reflective. That is the only thing on this side. I don't see, they don't have the year of issue. Again, this ink up here is reflective as well. I don't see anything else. So this is probably an older banknote from an older series. So let's put these out here like this as I sign off from my video. I hope you're enjoying this series. As I said, when I guesstimated how many videos this is going to take, it's going to take more than 40. I counted 43. There might be additions, there might be extra videos, but bear with me for probably well into next year. So I hope you get to enjoy this series as much as I am. I'm just rediscovering these notes as I have a quick look at them, because once I got them, I looked at them once, put them in the folder, haven't looked at them since. So I'm very happy, especially with my UV light flashlight, to look at the features of these banknotes. Well, I'll see you next week for episode 3.